Oakley dokley doo. It is time for us to do some behind-the-scenes commentary on this latest episode of Scam School. This is the 3 dice challenges, and I rather enjoyed starting off this episode by saying, this week on Scam School, I want you to die. Today I'm going to be drinking tea because I'm doing 2 weeks of no booze. I'm doing a push-up program where I have to drop and do push-ups every 30 minutes, like for 2 weeks straight, and trying to restrict myself to only 1,200 net calories. That's after, like, you take how many calories you ate and you subtract the amount of exercise you've done, and then we're doing it. Last time I probably said something similar to this and then didn't stick with it. And then also got super busy, and that's probably why you didn't get any behind-the-scenes commentaries. But now I'm back, and I'm going to try to get back and put in behind-the-scenes commentaries for the other ones as well. This is another one with my friend, Diamond Jim Tyler, who is a very, very well-respected magician. He's performed at the Magic Castle a whole bunch. This was kind of a fun hodgepodge because we were trying to figure out what episodes to put together, and a lot of them, the strength of one trick was enough to carry the entire routine. And there's I'll tell you what, the one 2 weeks from now, it's going to be called Six the Hard Way. Freaking maybe one of my all-time favorite things we've ever done. Like, the puzzle's freaking hard and ultra satisfying. I loved it. So, but this one was a case where, you know, he had a couple of dice tricks, and I'm like, that's good. And then I had a couple of dice tricks, and he's like, that's good. And then we figured out that by putting them together, you got, what, 3.5 minutes per dice trick to teach and to make happen. You're able to do it. This was a challenging thing because, like, Jim had never seen somebody actually get him to balance legitimately. And I don't think he had realized that when I was talking about the hypotenuse, the reason you can't balance them squared up is because the die ends at the midway point, right? So whichever one of them is far enough in to stay in, the other one by nature has to be all the way off. But if you have it tilted, remember the hypotenuse is longer than the sides, so it projects out farther, because I believe that would make it, what, a 45, 45, 90 triangle? I think. I may be making all this up. But for whatever, even if I'm wrong, it apparently worked. Apparently she was the exception to the rule. But I believe if you do it crossways, it's able to go out slightly past the midway point, which is why that worked. And in this case, you see he's able to do it flush. And this is one. For these things here, the thing is most of the most talked about episodes of Scam School are the ones where it's one legendary hit, where it just like, you're like, yes, of course, that's the one thing I'll do tonight, and I'll be a hero. This is more of those mild amusements, and there's 2 reasons you should know them. First of all, you should know them so that nobody pulls them on you. But second of all, you're going to have these moments of downtime where you could just do something like this for somebody else. And if you could be that guy who always has a million things up your sleeve, then you are a truly well-rounded, entertaining person, somebody that everybody wants to hang out with at the bar at all times. And let's face it, I mean, that's really what Scam School's all about. I should point out, I don't know how many of you guys are watching this who only know that I do Scam School, but you probably noticed that I've got an entire studio here. That's for like 4 other podcasts that I do on a weekly basis. Every Tuesday night live, we do a show called NSFW. That's at nsfw.com. We do a show every Monday night called Frame Rate, where we talk about movies, TV, and Netflix. And we also, when we could do it, we do the Weird Things podcast, and sporadically I'll jump on and I'll play video games live. All of it's covered at bbpedia.net. bbpedia.net is where you want to go. And they have a whole explanation of all the backstories on all the jokes and everything. This was a frustrating episode double time because the character, this guy, was great. What we never want is somebody you don't want to have a puzzle set up and then they just sit there going, and then that's all you get for the entire episode. This guy did a fantastic job of giving lots of energy. He was really amazed when it worked. The only bummer on this episode was this particular location. It's very difficult to set up the shot and not get all the cameras in there. So we weren't able to do this real time. And in fact, I believe most of these close-ups, that one is real time, but most of the other close-ups that you see whenever I'm handling them, we do as a pickup shot. Like, we don't know if we got the right angle, so I just do the moves again with the camera in really, really close, and then it's up to the editor to make sure that everything gets put in there. And then they send me a rough cut See, like this is real time. You could tell somebody snuck up close enough to get in there, but you'll notice that it's the last half of the episode that we start seeing these good close-ups. In the first half, you sort of get, you can kind of tell a lot of them are pickup shots. But that's a nice looking shot right there.
What is this?
And in this case, oh shit, I definitely just spilled tea all over myself. In this case, the you can see the moment where I'm chewing out Diamond Jim Tyler for essentially giving the answer, giving the guy encouragement, like, you got it, and then, because the guy was about to be fooled, but then Diamond Jim goes and tells him, and I'm just like, whose side are you on? And so we pick it up right here. Luckily, it all landed on the pad. So I'm just gonna keep rocking this like nothing's wrong. I've got a question for you guys. Do you guys care? We used to try to make everything happen all in one day or all in the same shoot. You know, we wanted the pickup to be at night outside the bar, and then you go in, you do the trick, and then I'm outside the bar. And we used to really worry about matching my shirt to what I'm wearing in the thing. Do you guys even notice? Do you even notice? I mean, obviously it's daytime and then it's nighttime, because it's been way easier to shoot the episodes this way, where we go and the night of the shoot, we just push really hard to get all the tricks done, and then the next day we go out and we know what we need to say to set up the trick. We know, who to thank, and we know what happens to point out, like, hey, this thing went wrong or whatever. And then of course the ads we're able to do here. Do you guys mind it? Does it feel weird for you? Would you prefer it was all the exact same night? Do you even notice I guess I did bother to wear the same shirt this time, but other times I know that I totally haven't.
Diamond Jim is going to take this. And
we actually ended up cutting up the part that I was referencing when I said that. What I was talking about when I said, I know that's exactly where Diamond Jim was going to take this, the moment was when they toasted and all of a sudden some beer splashed out on the table. And because the method is to moisten it, and you can, you could lick your finger or whatever, and maybe use the condensation from the side of the glass, but since there was that beer splash, there was this moment when I could just tell, and I kind of watched Diamond Jim's fingers, lean over and casually dab into the beer, and then come back in and set it all up.
And so now...
And by the way, his books, Bamboozlers 1 and 2, really are delightful. They are, here, I got them right here. I love them because they look like little pocket devotionals, only they're about drinking free booze. And then but the art in them is really good. Here, let me see if I can throw this on here. I'm going to cut away from, whoa, wait, what? Let's do this. There we go. Perfect. There you go. You can see it's all super slick in there, and it's 80 tricks, 75, 80 tricks per book, and they're only like $20, I think, for 80 tricks, and we've got them at scamstuff.com. That's the other thing too, is this is what I love about Diamond Jim. A lot of magicians are, think everything's got to be a competition, but the great thing about Diamond Jim is that he's the kind of guy where it's just like, look, man, we're all on the same team. Let's cross promote. You make some awesome happen. But these came out really, really well. Scamstuff.com. And by the way, thank you to everybody who's heading over to scamstuff.com. When you guys buy stuff from scamstuff.com, that really lets me stay home and not be on the road, and that means I'm able to write better episodes of Scam School. It means we're able to do more stuff like this. This is the kind of thing I'd wanted to do forever, where the behind-the-scenes commentaries, but I never would have been able to if it weren't for you guys supporting, making it possible for me to work essentially from home, which is awesome, and it means the world to me. So when this was taught to me, it was actually just this 3D solution right there. And it was only after tinkering around with it, I was like, I was really bummed to realize that you could do a 3-move 2D solution as well right there on the table. But mainly because I like that out-of-the-box. Anytime you can have one of those out-of-the-box moments that's transformative, when you're like, I should have seen it the whole time, I think that makes for a really good one of these games. This one I thought was really good too, and I thought that Jim was, again, maybe a little too generous in his advice trying to help out our volunteer. And it's what I love, and this is well worth doing, because even if they get it, it's a fun challenge, because they have that oh shit moment when they, kind of like when I poured tea all over myself. They throw the first one in, and they're like, I got this, bro, it's easy. And when that second one goes, you can see the genuine look of surprise on their face. Here, take a look at, let's see if, here, we'll do.
Like, well, duh, of course, we could do this, right?
Here we go.
So get the first one in. Can you get the first one? Ta-da! All right.
See, and all of a sudden he gets it. And it's just like, then he knows he's in trouble. So, yeah, this one's a lot of fun. I think you guys, and I think it's a good lesson for all of the Scam School stuff. People say all the time, well, what if I fail? What if they figure it out? And my answer is, I used to think the same thing. I used to totally worry about that kind of stuff. But now the answer is clear to me. Nothing changes. You just move on to the next trick. You buy them a drink and then you move on to the next deal. It's like, if you got enough tricks, if you keep hammering hard enough, you'll succeed. You'll be able to get ahead. There is no success without failure. Failure is being bad. You have to be bad before you can be good. And so if you fail, so what? You guys don't even know the stories of colossal failure that I have, and I might even share them here sometime. But I'm talking about on stage in West Virginia, in an audience of 900 hayseeds who did not like my show. They did not think my City Slickin' Waves was funny. They came out to see a full-on, sequin-wearing, late 80s music playing, mullet having, blow-dried hair being, illusion magic show with the pretty girls and the ribbons and maybe some confetti. And what they got was a sarcastic guy who hates all of that stuff and makes fun of it on stage, doing his crazy punk rock magic. And when the show ended, like, I could feel the room go cold. And when the show ended, like, somebody actually threw fruit at my stage. I didn't even know people did that in real life. Full on, just whap, an orange just hits and splatters over my props. And I was just like, holy crap, I couldn't believe it. And in fact, I thought, well, that sucked. And then I went and sold like $400 of t-shirts after the show. So it's the weirdest thing. It's like, even when you fail, you succeed. And to be honest, that experience was a defining moment in maybe making me figure out what visual elements I could add to the show that would have appeased even that kind of audience. But look, my point is, don't worry about when they fail. When they fail, you are learning an important lesson, maybe the most important lesson in your magic. And every time you have a failure, what'll happen is an hour, 2 days, 2 weeks later, you'll think back on it and it'll hit you. This is what I should have done. That is your lesson. Because performing magic is basically you're having a Groundhog Day-like experience. You just continue doing the same things over and over and over again. And one of these days, someone is going to pipe up with the same sarcastic remark as this guy did 2 years ago. And this time, you'll have that comeback totally loaded in the chamber, ready to melt their faces off. So get out there and, oh, and thank you to all you guys who have actually subscribed. YouTube.com/Schwood.com. It is kind of a bit of a grab bag, but it's genuinely my personal channel that I really like having this direct back channel to chat with you guys. So as soon as, pretty much as soon as this finishes, I'll go ahead and save it. We'll post it. I like that image of the half-bald, half-dreadlocked image. Go ahead and send that to me on Twitter if you want. By the way, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Schwood, and just send me an email if you have any questions, and mainly leave your comments in the comments because I really do read all that stuff. In fact, I'm going to stop here and then start answering comments on the new episode. Thanks, guys.